Yo, what's good? Welcome back to Gridiron podcast. I'm your host, JB. Joining me as always, Devontae Forever. What's good, bro?
Fresh off the flight. What's going on with you, Jay?
Word, man. Jet setter, trendsetter. What's good, man? What's good, man? Yo, appreciate all the love and support from y'all. First off, man, we gonna kick it off, man. You went to what is that called? Queen City?
Yes, sir.
Right? That's Queen City,
Queen
right?
City. Mm-hmm.
How was your time in Queen City, man?
It was a great time in Ric Flair country. You know what I'm saying? It was a great time. Got to the food. Like I gotta go back to the gym to eat to work off all the weight I just lost. Well, I feel like I could go play D tackle right now. So I gotta get back. I gotta get back to work. You know.
Word. I feel you, man. I feel you. Yo, as always, y'all, we about to recap some week 9. Look forward to week 10. A lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of stuff going on in the league. We have our first coaching change, which of course has to do with my team. We'll talk about that in a little while. Devontae's team kicked off the week on Thursday night. We'll get into that in just a second. Had some big games this week, man. I was looking forward to that Seahawks game. I was looking forward to obviously Dallas and Philly. Looking forward to Chiefs and the Dolphins. Looking forward to Bengals. I like these matchups we're starting to get. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into it, man. What's your thoughts on the week 9 that we just saw, concluding with the Chargers and Jets last night? What do you think about the entire week?
I think I think this was that first week of oh damn, it's starting to get serious up in here. I think you're starting to see teams who you thought were they're about to run away with the league start to slow down and get settled in there to get put in their place. And I think a lot of teams that you saw who started off sluggish are starting to catch on fire. So this is what we knew was coming. So I think definitely you got a lot of pretenders and there's also a lot of bad news that came with this week. Daniel Jones tore his ACL, so that puts the Giants season on hot wax. And any other chance. Shout out to my boy Josh Dobbs, but Cam Akers tore his Achilles. He's clipped for the year. So there was also a couple of very season-ending injuries, which always sucks. And no matter what we talk about on this show, we do not stand against we ain't happy. We ain't hype for people getting hurt. So
facts, yeah, that's a fact, man. Shout out to everybody's hurt, man. Obviously, I saw the Cam Akers thing fell for him, man. Obviously, battling back from the ACL injury was tough. God, he did that. You know what I mean? And if I believe correctly, he tore the other one, right? Right. That's what I'm saying. So that's horrible. The Daniel Jones thing was crazy, man. I watched that literally as it happened and dropped back, tripped over a guy, next play, dropped back and just fell. I was thinking maybe hyperextension because sometimes that can cause you to buckle too. But when I saw the way he just fell, man, I was like, damn, man. I knew he was probably done for the year. Oh, but yeah, in terms of the action, man, I thought Steelers Titans looked good on Thursday night. I know Will Levis. I know the game didn't go the way he wanted to. We'll get into that in literally a second. I thought it was some good matchups. You know what I mean? And then we still got some teams who are still good teams that had a bye. Jacksonville, San Francisco. So we're looking to see how they get back into the fray as they get out of the bye. But let's kick this off, man. Yo, we starting off with the very first game we're talking about is Devontae Steelers defeated the Titans 20-16. Pickett, 19 for 30, 160 yards and a touchdown. Levis, 22 for 39, 262 yards and an INT. Devontae, as the resident Steelers fan, how do you feel about this game? And so far, your Steelers, as they are now in technically a 4-way tie, a 3-way tie for second place?
Yep. So watching this game was nuts because I could not believe we scored a first drive touchdown. I could not believe it. I was shocked. That was the first opening drive touchdown we've scored in 3 years. I can tell you what the offenses still look like. But then we kind of went back into our very much quarter 1 to quarter 3 struggles. We struggled a lot through 3 quarters. But because I know the Steelers very well, I know our very great record against rookie quarterbacks. Was I scared? No, I kind of figured it would be ugly, and it was ugly. But we got the job done in the fourth quarter, like always. And I think the thing that really shocked me was how our rookie Joey Porter Jr. put the straps on DeAndre Hopkins. I couldn't, especially after a week. DeAndre Hopkins the week before had 3 touchdowns and was murdering people. He strapped him up. I couldn't believe it. Yes, penalties come. Yes, the rookies, they're young to learn. But I think we need to give a really great hand to Mike Tomlin, who is one of the most respected but also disrespected coaches in the league. Everybody act like we lose 1 week, we should fire Tomlin, but we've been outgained by every team this year in passing yards and rushing yards. Every team has done way better than we have, and we 5-3 in second place. And we already beat the first place in Baltimore. They just won one more game than we did. Like, come on, bro. Like, if we're not giving it up for Mike Tomlin, I don't know what we doing here.
No, I completely agree, man. The Steelers are live, even when I think coming into the year, we both said they shouldn't be, right? We know what was up with the offense. Both of us, you think Pickett has promise, but one, it may not ever live up to what it's supposed to be, and it definitely won't with the current system they have in place, right? So, but the fact that they are still here. Now, granted, I still, like, obviously we had our playoff picks. I still don't pick them to go to the playoffs just because, again, that Matt Canada, you know what I mean? It's going to show itself eventually. The defense is like in a modern league with all the rule changes. I don't think we'll ever see a truly dominant defense. We'll see dominant defensive performances, but I don't think we'll ever see a truly dominant defense season long that could drag a team to the playoffs. But yeah, shout out to Mike Tomlin, man. It's not so much that I always thought the Steelers should fire him. It's just I'm like, can we get this guy in offense and the defense at the same time, right? Belichick had it. You can say that's because of Brady, but Andy Reid had it. Chiefs their defense look good right now. You know what I mean? Can we get he had the killer bees? He had the killer bees with Ben in them, but it's like, can we get it at the same time for this guy, please? Just, you know what I mean? Like we haven't seen it since 2008, 2010. You know what I mean? So what? Yeah, man. As for the Titans, I think they announced today they're going to stick with Will Levis, which I think is
the right move.
Which I think is the right move. I think Tannehill can be a great backup in that situation. I think the Titans next year can make noise depending what they do draft wise and stuff. I do trust Coach Vrabel. I like him as a coach, so I think they'll be good, especially with him having that rookie. And now we see why they kept Derrick Henry. Like now it makes sense. You know what I mean? Now it makes sense because if you have a young quarterback, you kind of want them to be able to have that stalwart as a running back. So, but yeah, man. So, let's jump into the next game. Next game we talk about.
Tannehill has options next year. I'll tell you that much. Tannehill's gonna have a lot of options next year.
That is true. There are a lot of teams right now with mediocre quarterback play at best, and I think he will be able to fit in there, and at least at very worst be a backup who's ready to come in. Shout out to Nick.
I'm picking the Jets.
Shout out to Nick Bizarre for checking out the show. Appreciate you, brother, as always. Next game, Ravens defeated the Seahawks 37-3, man. I know you picked Baltimore to make that deep playoff run. I picked them to go to the playoffs. I didn't quite know how deep of a playoff run. Devontae,
I'm looking right on the money, right? I'm looking right on the money, right?
Let me tell you something, man. These Baltimore Ravens is ridiculous right now. The Baltimore Ravens look ridiculous. And it's not even the offense that's really doing it like that. You know what I mean? I watched that game against Seattle. Now, me and you, we both were big proponents of Seattle. We saw them go and beat the Lions, right? We saw them beat the Lions in that close game. We was like, okay, Seattle's real. They're real. I still think they're going to playoffs. Baltimore, that's 2 weeks in a row now. They just discarded the Lions like they was nothing. And we're huge on the Lions, right? We're huge on the Lions. They beat them down like it was nothing. So I'm like, okay, here comes Seattle. No problem. Smacked them like it was not, bro. This defense. We all know Lamar, the MVP. I'm putting him to the side for the rest of the show. Like, cool. No disrespect to Lamar because we know he could throw. At least here on this show, we know he could throw. He could play, right? They'll basically do this, but they beat the hell out of the Lions, who is a good team. They're going to the playoffs, and they beat the absolute hell out of Seahawks, who we both think are going to the playoffs. Tell me about the Ravens.
Bro, the Ravens are just disgusting. Like, they're absolutely nasty. And I was telling people, I'm like, the scariest thing about the Ravens team is if you look at Lamar's rushing stats, they're not even close to what he was doing in his MVP year. They're not even close to what he was doing the year before last. Last year he got hurt, so we're not counting that. So the year before that, they weren't even close. He's not killing you running the ball. He's killing you with precision in the pocket passing. And he's smoking people because we're all still terrified of the run, which is so scary because he hasn't even started running yet. He hasn't even started really running yet.
Right.
And it's getting dangerous. It's getting cold out here. And then that defense with Jadeveon Clowney, who we even forgot was in the league. You got Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton. Like, they got absolute dogs out there. And they're just physically murdering people. And one stat about Lamar that nobody ever talks about, Lamar is 15-1 against the NFC. What kind of record is that? Like, where you just smacking everybody on the other side of the conference. He is 16-1 now because they just won. He is 16-1 against the NFC, and he is smoking people. And there's a reason why I picked, and why everybody was picking the hot pick of the Chiefs and the Bills. Bro, the Ravens can play with anybody and knock anybody around on any given day because they're just as physical as that Chiefs defense is. Shockingly, now they're just as physical as anybody. You don't want to. That's a team you don't want to get into a dogfight with, and which is not surprising with the Bengals coming up rising. I think the AFC North has the best division in the AFC.
Oh yeah, it's definitely back. It's definitely back because, like I said, I know you talk to fans of the North, they're gonna talk about how the Browns ain't nothing. The Browns might have the best defense in the league if we're being honest.
Browns are eating right now. They eating right now.
Just gotta get going. But Vontae, let me tell you something, man. And as you know, I'm a defensive lineman, right? So I'm gonna be a little biased.
Sir.
But let me talk about the offensive line, right? Jaron Reed for the Seattle Seahawks. He's good, right? He's really good. Really good.
Oh my God, yeah.
What happened? Lamar Jackson dropped back the pass. And Nate, we'll get to your comment in a second. Appreciate you, bro, as always. Lamar Jackson dropped back the pass. And Jaron Reed, didn't get there quite in time, and he pushed them. Now, Lamar kind of did flop. You know what I mean? Luckily, they didn't call the roughing the passer. But obviously, the offensive line didn't take too kindly to that, right? The next play, the Ravens ran their signature power. Lamar, he claps the ball, fakes it, runs power. The guard came over and took Jaron Reed off his feet. Jaron Reed ain't no small dude, man.
That's not a slouch in this league.
Now, when nasty offensive linemen, when they get you on the ground, they're going to get on top of you, put their forearm on your face. And he got up, was like, what? That's how the whole Ravens offensive line played, bro. I like it because it's kind of like that old school ball that we grew up watching and that we love, man. And this Raven team is real, man. Like they definitely, like you said, I definitely agree about the North too. They got some nasty teams out there playing right now. Nate said, "What's good, bro?" He said the scary thing is Lamar isn't doing anything special at all.
Bro, exactly, and they just smoking people.
Right. It's crazy. Shout out to Shania Brinkley for checking out the show. Appreciate you. He said Van Noy off the street and 6+ sacks already. Yo, I'm telling you, man, the best way the way they are playing right now is absolutely insane, yo.
Bro, they're just mauling people. Like they're just beating them by just straight physical. Like just pain. Like that's the way to describe it. Like
right, and I don't want to jinx it. I really don't want to jinx it, but I do feel like that. Like I'm surprised they're letting them do this. You know what I mean? They're hitting quarterbacks hard as hell. Like they're not throwing them on the ground. They're crushing quarterbacks. They're hitting receivers. They're hitting backs super hard. The offensive line is blocking nasty. You know what I mean? Like the receivers are putting corners on the ground, cracking back on linebackers the legal way. Like it's really like John Harbaugh is also one that they always say is on the hot seat, right? What's wrong with why can't Lamar get a championship? Look, man, nobody wants to see the Ravens right now. And the problem is nobody probably wants to see the Bengals either. Nobody wants us to see that Steelers defense. The offense is kind of lagging behind. But if they ever get that, and nobody wants to see the Browns either. Again, if their offense is ready, that AFC North right now is crazy.
It's just give me a punch.
Nate says the best Baltimore team I've seen in a long time. Look, I agree, man. Like the way they're playing right now, this is even better than that team that won the Super Bowl that beat the Niners. You know what I mean? And I know they had Ray and they had legends on it, but the way they're playing right now, man,
honestly, if you're asking me, bro, I think that the only thing the Ravens, the only thing that I think the Ravens have to really be particular on is not getting stingy. And we're talking about if it's 3rd and 1 and you really playing man-to-man coverage, because that's the Ravens, they play man-to-man. They're going to force you to, they're going to play man-to-man. If you got a corner that's getting beat or is very capable of a deep threat in this league, like, for example, if you're playing the Eagles I'm sorry. If you're not doubling, you ain't man-to-man covering AJ Brown on the 3rd and 1. You know they're gonna throw it deep. Like, you know what I mean? And I think for the Ravens, the only thing that can get them in trouble really is how stingy John Harbaugh really is.
Right.
And sometimes you got to put your pride aside and be like, yo, bro, we got to switch into the zone. We got to cover the sticks, or we just got to double somebody. Like, you know how to double that guy on those big possession downs.
Look, man, one thing I'm thinking about already, and I'm kind of looking towards the future, right? And I know they say you shouldn't do that. One, actually, real quick, I wish the Steelers offense wasn't as bad as it was, because that's what I want to see. You know what I mean? I want to see the same with Cleveland. I trust him a little more because of Watson, you know what I mean? But we'll see if he ever gets back to what he's supposed to be. But I feel like we might have gotten that playoff game last year with the Bengals and the Ravens a year too early, because obviously Lamar was out, didn't quite count. And that still was a good game.
Absolutely.
But man, if they meet this year, whether Cincinnati or Baltimore, that's going to be a crazy game.
It's going to be a physical one.
But yo, right now, Ravens got my stamp as the best team in the league, and that's no disrespect to Philly. I know they actually have the best record. But right now, bro, that Baltimore team is serious.
Nobody wants to see Baltimore right now.
All right, let's get to the next thing. The next thing we talking about is a celebration. It's a goddamn celebration, man. Devontae, let me have this soapbox real quick.
You got it. Do your thing.
Last year, before the season even started, when we did our first episode, what did I say? I can't wait for Josh McDaniels to get fired. But I knew the contract, it was guaranteed. They're still paying Gruden. I never thought it would happen. But when they lost to that damn Chicago Bears with a Division II quarterback playing, I said, he got to go. I don't care about the money. He got to go. Never in my wildest dreams, Devontae, did I ever actually think they would fire him. I knew about the player meeting. I knew that Devontae Adams didn't like him. I knew Derek Carr couldn't stand him. That's why he got shipped out. We talked about it on the show. But I never actually thought that Josh McDaniels would actually go. And so I kid you not, Devontae, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. My alarm went off I set it by accident, right? 4:30. I'm on the couch. I'm all mad now. I'm up way too early. And I saw from Adam Schefter a tweet that started with fresh new start. I was like, oh shit, who got fired? You know what I mean? Or who got traded or whatever. But I was like, wait a minute, the trade deadline already happened. Devontae, I kid you not, I clicked it. It said Antonio Pierce. And I knew he was one of the coaches on the Raiders. You remember when Antonio Brown jumped up, was like, I'm free?
Yep.
That's literally what I did at 4:30 in the morning. I was like, yo, I'm free. I was like, yo, let's go. I was walking around the house making breakfast like Raiders. Yo, bro, I was so happy. Look, the Giants game, they played well. They beat the Giants fine, right? But the way they played, man, I haven't seen the Raiders team play like that since probably that year they went to the playoffs with Gruden when he got fired and everything. But yo, I was so happy, Devontae. You have no idea. And it's crazy because Devontae Adams to start the game, 0 targets in the first half, basically, right? He's dancing on the sidelines. He's dancing on the sidelines, getting hype and everything. And everyone's like, wait, but you didn't get the ball last game and you guys lost and you slamming your helmet. I was like, that's Josh McDaniels. Telling guys on the Raiders, don't disrespect the Patriots. They beat the Patriots. You know what I mean?
You're like, what?
Call the team meeting to air out their grievances against him. He wasn't there. Antonio Pierce was there for him. That's practically how he became the interim coach, right? Josh McDaniels told Derek Carr, don't change plays at the line of scrimmage. Who does that in the NFL? You know what I mean? The dude's a fraud, man. The dude's a fraud. Like I said, I'm not saying he don't deserve any NFL. Somebody wants to hire him for an offensive coordinator, head coach, or whatever. I don't care. But what I'm telling you right now, I feel like there's so many offensive coordinators in the league who could coach Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Or Patrick Mahomes or Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. He took this Raider team, a team that went 10-7, went to the playoffs, took Cincinnati to the wire, who literally went on to go to the Super Bowl, and they turned them into a 6-win team last year. People were saying Renfro had 20 targets to start the year. All year long, 20 targets because of this guy. That's why when people always say, like, if you follow me during the game, you notice I'm taking shots at Josh McDaniels the entire game, right? And that's because I'm watching the game. And I'm like, bro, Devontae Adams caught was it a 30-yard catch against the Lions. Just kind of put the ball down, walked off the field. Okay, whatever. Put the one up. Who does that? You know what I mean? They don't want to play for him. Josh Jacobs. Hey, Josh, is there any way that the Raiders can get that spark on offense? I don't know. That ain't my job. Fast forward to this game, Josh Jacobs, you got the spark back on offense. How you feel? Man, let me tell you about Coach Pierce, man. He's so good. I'm like, that's what it is. That's coaching. You know what I mean? That's a coach that they believe in. Devontae Adams talking about he's a Raider for life now when everybody thought he's about to get traded. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. But what's your take on that? You know what I mean? I obviously I think you agree he had to go, but what's your take on it and how the Raiders look going forward?
I would definitely say it's about time, and if you can get this momentum going, and honestly, if Antonio Pierce can get you guys going to the like if you guys win 7 to 8 games with all this going on with Aiden O'Connell out of all people, if you do all this and you can win 6 to 7 games where it's like maybe you don't make the playoffs, but you were in the hunt. If you get in the hunt to where you're not where you were looking at like easily a top 5 pick, if you can get to like the 15s, if you're in the teens for a draft pick this year, and you fire Antonio Pierce, and if Antonio Pierce is not your coach, Mark Davis got to go too, because we saw what happened last time when you guys had Bisaccia. We saw what happens when you guys had Jack Del Rio. Anytime a Raider coach had any type of success, you fired him the next year. So I think this is like, I'm happy for you, and I hope you guys do well. But like, bro, and like at this point, I think if you guys have any type of success and you fire bro right now, you got to start clamoring for Mark Davis for your Mark Davis to get fired.
Look, from what I heard and was told by a few guys on Twitter that I follow, talk to, stuff like that from the Raiders, they said Mark Davis walked into the locker room, apologized to Max Crosby, Jacobs, and Devontae Adams, right? Which I appreciated, because like literally those are the players, like, you know damn well they all spoke out about they wanted Carr to stay, right? Fine, he's already gone. If I'm Mark Davis, I'm walking in at the end of the year. Let's say they went 6, right? Not that 7 or 8. I'm walking in, I'm talking to Crosby, Jacobs, and Adams. Jacobs, we want to re-sign you. The rest, Adams and Crosby, you guys are here already. Who do you want to be the coach? If they say Pierce, you go with Pierce. Because Devontae, I've seen the Raiders win games under Josh McDaniels. They almost beat the Chiefs last year under McDaniels. They never looked like this. You know what I mean? They was hype on the sideline. What's his name? Amik Robertson caught the pick on the goal line. Devontae Adams ran on top of the field to hug him. Like, when have you seen this? Even under Gruden with that playoff game against the Bengals, they didn't look like this. They look hype. You know what I mean? Marshawn Lynch, now he wants to like make videos and stuff for the franchise again. Come on, man. This is crazy. Like, he had the practice squad on the sideline. Right.
He was just like, they're part of the team too.
Entire practice squad, man. Look, I don't want to get too far ahead and say give him the job now, but if I was me, I'd give him the job now, only because that was the first time, win, lose, or draw. They could have lost to the Giants, but they at least look like the Raiders. You know what I mean? The Raiders were that gritty team that, hey, you may beat them, but you're going to get your ass beat, like, physically. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Smash mouth ball. It looked like the Raiders again. Now, you got the Jets coming in Sunday night. Obviously, that's a whole different defense you're playing. Their offenses, and we saw it last night, right? If they beat the Jets, give them the job. Who says you have to sign them to a 6-year deal?
No.
That's not standard. But
not at all.
Install it now. You beat the Jets. The Raiders are 5-5.
Yeah, make him a play. He's a player's coach.
They're 5-5. Look, I know the AFC is tough. But they're 5-5. You got the Chargers again. You got the Broncos again. You got the Chiefs twice. You still got to play some AFC opponents. Who's to say they can't sneak into that 7th spot in the wild card? Now they're going to lose because they'll lose to the Chiefs. They'll lose to the Ravens. You know what I mean? But still, like, who's to say? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Maurice Samuels, Raiders. Yo, I'm so happy, bro. I'm so happy. I kid you not. When that happened, I reached out to everybody know who from the nation. Yo, y'all don't ever see me on a show like this, man. Y'all don't ever see me on a show like this. Devontae, am I lying? Every time I talk
I
about the
love
Raiders,
it, y'all.
every time I talk about the Raiders, I'm like this. You know, they lost to the Bears. You know, it's Josh McDaniels. No, man. Now I'm hyped, man. I'm back, y'all. Look, I might go to Vegas.
Hey, do what you gotta do. I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Look, I might go to Vegas. I ain't gonna lie, Devontae. Like that's a hype I am right now. But he said said it's truly a blessing. McDummy is gone, man.
McDummy.
And he might go back to New England because they need an offensive coordinator. So go ahead. You know what I mean? Go ahead. But I'm just glad the Raiders look like the Raiders again. They could lose every game out from here on out. I still don't care. They look like the Raiders. They playing with that fire. You know what I mean? Let's go. All right, man. Enough of that. Let's talk about the next thing. The Bengals. The Bengals got off to a slow start this year, Devontae. You know it, and I know it, right?
Dirt slow.
Since then, they've gone on probably one of the best runs so far. Maybe Jacksonville, but that's close, you know? Because Jacksonville, next week they got the Niners. So obviously the Bengals just beat the Niners. Beat the Niners like it was nothing. Beat the Seahawks like it was nothing. And now just beat the Bills. And then these are some of the top teams in the league right now. So I asked you, Devontae, what's your takeaway from this game? And are the Bengals like officially back?
Yes, the Bengals are officially back because it's clear as day that Joe Burrow is actually healthy.
Right.
You're seeing how different how the league is transcending. You can't stand in the pocket and beat everybody and just beat everybody with your arm.
Right.
Once they realize you're not mobile, you can't get out the pocket and escape and run. You are a liability, and defenses will murder you and they will exploit you. Absolutely. And that's what we got, and that's what we saw with the first half of the Bengals season. And I think with that, now that Joe Burrow is much more healthy, that bye week helped him a lot, and they really started putting it together. And they're the Bengals that we all thought would go straight back to the AFC Championship. That a lot of people picked to go back to the AFC Championship game because of how talented their offense is. Now, with that being said, I do think that the Bengals need to start actually running the ball. It's getting on my nerves because it's like when you're getting like 5 yards, 6 yards of carry, why are we not going back to that? Why are we not going back to that on 2nd and 1 or 2nd and 2 and 2nd and 3? Right. So I think the Bengals need to work out more of their balance on how they weigh their balances out. But other than that, yes, the Bengals are back. The Bengals are going to be super competitive like we already thought. And I just think that the Bengals are a team that's literally built to beat the Bills and the Chiefs like we always talk about.
Yeah, man. Look, I picked them to beat the Niners because I wasn't sold on the Niners. Can they do what they were doing year in and year out? We saw this with the Bills last year, right? They smacked the Rams in the opening game. They looked like one of the best defenses ever, and the offense was electric. And then they slowed down. So I took that, and this year applied that to the Niners, right? We know they always have injury problems. So I was like, okay. And then for this game, I wanted to see. I picked the Bengals to win, but I wanted to see, can the Bills finally take that step? I know they got injuries on defense everywhere. I know that. But I was like, can the offense, and Devontae, that Bills offense looks bad. Josh Allen looks okay, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the Bills offense looks bad. I'm like, when we had Saber on the show, who's obviously a big Bills fan, and he said James Cook is not it. I see that now, you know what I mean? It's not it. They just run him outside. He has speed, but in the NFL, it's not going to work. Josh Allen, throwing the pick, man. Cover 2, corner sees nobody in the flats, squeezes down, picks off the ball. It's a textbook pick. I thought Allen played okay. Diggs played okay. But the Bengals look like they're in a different class from the Bills. I'm starting to see the Bills fall a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Kansas City doesn't look quite as good as they did in years past, but they're still winning, right? They just beat the Dolphins, right? Who's a good team. Dolphins haven't really beat a big team yet, but you know what I mean? Right. But we know they're a decent team at best, at worst, right? And the Chiefs are still getting these wins. The Bills now have lost 4 out of the last 5. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's a big deal. And they should have lost to the. I'm sorry. They lost 3 out of the last 5, and they should have lost to the damn Giants too. Should have lost to the Giants. So,
agreed.
I'm not ready to write the Bills off, and I know that injuries is a big thing right now, but at the same time, but on the Bengals side, they look good, man. That offense is back to being electric. I do agree with you. They need to run the ball more. I completely agree with you. Mixon is getting all types of yardage. He's scoring touchdowns, you know what I mean? But I feel like he's not touching the ball enough. I think because they keep trying to go for the depth shot with Joe Burrow and those receivers. Yeah. Jeremy's in the house. What's good, Jeremy? What's good? Jeremy, resident Bills fan. He said Ken Dorsey needs to go. We're at best lucky to get a wild card, if that, and that's a big if. You know what, man? A few weeks I would have said that, but I'm not too sure about Miami my damn self. You know what I mean? And we saw the Jets I still think the Bills are going to win the division now. I had the Dolphins. I had the Dolphins. But they can't beat a team with a winning record. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, now I'm starting to wonder if the Bills, Devontae picked the Bills to win that division. I'm starting to wonder if the Bills are going to win that division by default.
It's looking like it. I feel like they're all gonna be like one game out because like the Patriots just beat the Bills. So like
right.
They're all gonna be like in the jumble. But I think Buffalo will slightly pull it out over the edge.
Yeah, man. The Bengals, they look good. They seem like the AFC North. I can't wait to keep watching those games as they play each other. But the Bengals dug themselves into a hole, and now they have to fight out of it. The room for error is very slim, and they're playing like it, which I love to see. All right, Devontae, let's get to this, what some are calling the game of the week. Eagles, Cowboys. Obviously, big division matchup. I picked Dallas to win the division. Devontae picked Philly. Philly just beat them in the first game. I believe they play again in December next month.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, 28-23. Jalen Hurts got banged up in the game, fought his way through, had a hell of a throw into the end zone to Devontae Smith. Dak Prescott played pretty damn well in this game, but like Devontae always says, it's never quite enough, right? It's never quite enough. It's at the end of the game, the clock management, taking a sack when you shouldn't, something always goes wrong. So, Devontae, I'll kick this off with you, man. What you think about this game so far? I mean, what's your takeaway from this game?
I think it's actually one of Dak's best tapes of the year, honestly. I think it's one of his best game tapes of the year. He actually played really well until like that fourth quarter with some of the clock management inefficiencies that we saw. But other than that, I'm not surprised. I didn't think this game was going to be a blowout. I didn't pick the Eagles by 30. I think it's a typical NFC East kind of football game where it's like it's rough, tough, close to the end. But you know which team? Honestly, it doesn't sound wrong, but like which team going to choke first? And if anybody chokes in that division, it's the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm not surprised that the Eagles win. And I think the Cowboys offense, CeeDee Lamb is a great target. He's clearly his day. I think he's going to be a number one receiver in this league. Yep. I can agree with that. But I think the thing people are not understanding about the number one receiver is that people think that you don't need a number two receiver. No, you need a number two receiver, and Absolutely. You at least need and in this league, you damn sure may need a number three receiver. Right. And the Cowboys don't have that. They don't have a tight end weapon that they can go to. They don't have a second receiver, which is why they just signed newly reinstated Martavis Bryant. We didn't see Martavis Bryant run a route since 2018. So like they searching for all help right now. So, but like Dallas is they're starting to panic low key. Right. Losing this game was a huge deal to them, and now we got to see what Dallas can do later on.
So I absolutely love, and shout out to my homie E-Man. What's good, bro? What's good? Appreciate the support as always. I love your point about the second receiver, man. I think it's super spot on. I can't even put into words how spot on it is. They got Brandon Cooks, but you wouldn't know because they don't throw the damn ball. When they threw the ball to the tight end, Shoemaker, on the goal line, and his knee was in the end zone, but the ball wasn't, blah, blah, blah. Some Dallas shit that happens, right? Where basically they lose because of that, right? If you look on the back side of that play, Devontae, and I didn't have time to grab that play, but Brandon Cooks is wide open on the slant route. Wide open on the slant route, just ran out the back of the end zone and kind of had his hands up. Throw to your second receiver. You know what I mean? Or if you even if you want to say Gallup is your second receiver, throw it to him. You're going to oh my God, what's his name? I can't think of the all day yesterday. He threw it on the fourth and 10 or whatever. When they turned the ball over on downs. It's not Torrance.
Turpin?
Tolbert,
yeah.
Throw it to him on the 4th and 10. Bro, I understand they're doubling CD Lamb. Throw it to somebody else. Tolbert went up with one hand. He went up with one arm, Devontae. He went up with one arm to try to grab the ball, and they lose. And then you throw the dig route, a super deep one, into CD Lamb to try to get into the end zone, like a Hail Mary type thing. Dak Prescott takes a sack. Look, man. It's like the cursed, man. Like, I know it's a running joke about him, but it's like something like Dak Prescott. He might not play a better game. He might not play a better game ever again. He looked like Vontae. He looked like the way he looked in that game. He looked like he's the best damn QB in the league. The way he was thrown off the run, you know what I mean, getting first downs with his legs, and then he lost the game.
Dak is very talented. He's very talented, but he's just I've always said that he's very talented. He has the capabilities, but he plays in Dallas. And when you play in Dallas, your expectations are higher than what you actually are in talent because there's no realism in what your talent actually is.
What's good, bro? Reek, what's good, man? What's good?
Bro, Los,
what's good, man? Said my dogs. What's up, man? What up? But yo, real talk, Devontae. Like, my biggest thing, man, with Dallas is, and again, I'm not a fan of Dallas or anything. They got talent, and we saw it. They're damn near just as good as Philly, but it's like, what do you do when you actually play, right? You know what I'm saying?
It's just unrealistic talent. Like, we both love Micah Parsons. We both think Micah Parsons is really nice. We both think Micah Parsons is really nice. I was telling you about Micah Parsons when he was at Penn State. Like, yo, bro is different. His first year, they was calling him Lawrence Taylor. What more do I need to tell you about Dallas Cowboy fans, bro? They're like, yo, it's like when one person is good, next thing you know, he's a Hall of Famer. Bro, come on. It's like, you think I'm playing? Look at like Dez. Dez Bryant had a very decent career, pretty good, pretty solid career with the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
His biggest moment is the one catch he didn't have.
Word. Brady, what's good, bro? What's good, bro? He said that was the best game they could have played and still came up. That's it.
Exactly.
That right there is it, bro. Look, and the part that really like pissed me off about this is Philly tried to give everything went wrong for Philly towards the end. Both corners got banged up. I know they're gonna be okay, but they got banged up, had to exit the game. Had like 14 penalties, it feels like, in the last drive, right? Dallas got all the way down to the 6. To the 6-yard line with the game on the line. They took the last snap from the 30 because that got sacked, a delay of game penalty. Boom. The hell is that?
Bro, it's not a surprise. It's a big game. Remember, let's not forget, Jay, the only reason why the Eagles and the Cowboys split last year was because Jalen Hurts did not play.
Well, yeah. We know that.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, people be like, I don't understand. We split with them last year. No. We're not doing that. It's a big game. Every time it's a big game, and every time it's on primetime television. When it's on primetime television, the Dallas Cowboys will fail you.
So, if history corrects itself, next game, the defense will be crazy, right? Hold Philly to 14 points, right? And then all of a sudden, Dak Prescott throws 3 picks, and they score 7, and they lose 14-7. You see what I'm saying? That's how it goes. It don't matter if it's a shootout. It don't matter if it's a close game. It don't matter if it's a defensive game. They can't seem to like have that statement win. You know what I mean? Like they beat the Bucks last year in the playoffs, but that's not the same Bucks that went to that Super Bowl. We know that. They ran into San Fran. I think them and San Fran are evenly matched in terms of talent. I really do. San Fran might be little, but they're close, right? But again, something always goes wrong. And that's the part that's annoying. And I'm not a fan by any means. Devontae actually knows I hate the Cowboys. But like, it's just crazy to see, you know what I mean? Something always goes wrong. Whereas like with the Patriots for 20 years, everything
went right. Everything went right.
Like, you know what I mean? Congrats on the first game in the new Raider era. Brady, oh my God. Bro, I could have damn cried. It's not even because they won. Bro, that's the first time the Raiders. It looked like the Patriots West under McDaniels. It looked like the Patriots. It really what it looked like. And man, so shout out to Antonio Pierce, man. From what I heard, they was playing mad rap music in the locker room. Said Devontae Adams was like just chatting it up with all the players, talking about blah blah blah. They said Hunter Renfrow caught some passes in the game. Devontae, he shook a guy out of his shoes. They throwing him the ball. And look, I didn't address O'Connell. I went back and watched some of his game tape. He could throw, right? We know he could throw.
Yeah.
He hit Trey Tucker for a 50-yard pass, which is the longest of the season because we know Garoppolo don't throw long.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying O'Connell's good or anything like that, but the Raiders' offense is about
serviceable,
right? And the crazy part is, and you know me, I've been talking about this for years. Their defense has been playing pretty good this year, and when has that ever happened? You know what I mean? They've been playing pretty good. They played well enough to beat the Lions on Monday night.
Yeah,
but the offense didn't. I kid you not. If Josh McDaniels coached and Jimmy Garoppolo played quarterback against the Giants, I promise you the Raiders would have lost.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's how different it is. I feel like, look, I'm not saying they're going to go beat the Chiefs. I'm not even saying they're going to beat the Chargers. I think they'll beat Denver. But like, I'm not even saying they're going to beat the Chargers. What I'm saying is they're going to be in these games now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're going to have a legit shot to win because now you can't just stack the box because O'Connell likes to throw the ball deep. And you got Devontae Adams. You got Jacoby Myers, who surprised me. He's playing really good. I can't in front. He's a much better receiver than I thought he was. But he's playing well. They're finally throwing to your guy, the tight end, the rookie tight end, Michael Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
They're finally throwing him the ball. They're throwing the ball to Hooper. They're giving the ball to Jacobs. I'm like, now this looks like how it's supposed to look. You know what I mean? But yeah, appreciate that, Brady. As you can see, I'm very hyped. All right, he's a hell of a leader. Yeah, I mean, from Compton, man. Like the way you said that
in the right building.
Yeah, I was like, okay, bro, let's go. He
in the right building.
Word. All right, Devontae, you about to get into these game picks, man. Let's get into these game picks. Let's talk about some these big games coming up. If you still here with us, put it in the comments what you think who will win this game. When we talk about it, you ready, Devontae?
Let's rock. Let's do it.
Let's get right to it. Let me make sure y'all can see. Let me increase the view. How'd I look now?
I'm Gucci. I can see it.
I bet. Kicking it off. So we're not going to hit every single game. We're going to touch upon some games. So let's go to this one right here, Devontae. Cleveland at Baltimore. We just basically gave our flowers to Baltimore. With that said, Cleveland got the best defense in the league in my book.
I got Baltimore because in Baltimore, I think the home field advantage in the AFC North is one of the very few divisions where home field advantage actually matters. Yep. So with that being said, I got the Ravens by at least 10.
So, you know what? Real quick, let me put a pause on this real quick because Brady is absolutely right. I completely forgot. By the way, I don't know if you guys have talked about him yet, but CJ Stroud, the truth. Devontae, take it away because you've been talking about your boy for a while now. I'm gonna give you the floor on this. Let me.
It's Ohio State, man. It's the state, man. It's Ohio State. CJ Stroud is disgusting. His pinpoint accuracy, and more importantly, which is very rare about CJ Stroud, with how he plays as a rookie quarterback, the way he reads defenses is ridiculous. Like, he's one of the very few rookie quarterbacks where you see him actually throw to the check down when nothing's there. Normally, the biggest thing with rookie quarterbacks coming out of college, they hold on to the ball forever. They're trying to scramble, but they're still trying to make the big play. There's nothing wrong with throwing it to your check down if nothing's there. And if you look at the way CJ Stroud carries himself, how he studies film, and how he makes the right reads, it's something you don't see out of a rookie quarterback any day of the week. And I will you have to give the way CJ Stroud is playing right now 100% props.
Absolutely agree. And Brady, I do agree. I can see them getting the 7th seed last.
Bro, I got them
well.
in the division.
Look, not only shout out to Stroud, he's amazing, man. The decision making, the Moxley,
Ryan,
everything. Shout out to D'Amico Ryan because that defense has jumped at least 14 spots in rank. That's crazy in 1 year. You know what I mean? 1 year they jumped 14 spots in rank. Clearly,
they might win that division.
Clearly, he could coach because obviously the Niners defense looks good, but it don't look quite as good. And now the Texans defense went from okay to really damn good. You know what I mean? So shout out to him, man. Where did he get drafted again? Like what?
CJ Stroud?
Yeah. What?
I
forgot when did he get picked? Because
no, I think he went second or third. Right. He might have went first. I'm not sure.
Bryce went 1, right? To Carolina.
Bryce went 1. I think he went 2.
Okay.
I could Google it real quick.
Brady got us. He said 2.
Oh.
He said
okay.
D'Amico also potential coach of the year. I agree. I think right now he has a lock.
Yeah.
Obviously things can change, of course. You know what I mean? I don't know if you give him coach of the year if he finishes 4th, right? So you got to let the year play out. But those two have been on the tear, man. Absolutely. Brady, appreciate that because I did want to touch upon CJ Stroud. He's amazing, man. And look, I spoke about it earlier. Will Levis with the Titans, Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars, Stroud with the Texans. You know what I mean? Anthony Richardson with the Colts. Now all of a sudden the South ain't so much of a slouch anymore. Now is it? You know what I mean? Like, which we thought
it's a 2-man race.
Which we thought was gonna be the worst.
It's very well a two-person race now because like Anthony Richardson is hurt. I don't think anybody expects Gardner Minshew to make that much noise. But definitely I think it's between the Jaguars and the Texans, and I'm picking the Texans to win that division.
I don't know, man. Yo, I'm telling you right now. I'm calling it right now. E-Man, if you hear it, bro, I'm sorry. Jacksonville gonna beat the Niners. They're gonna beat the Niners on Sunday. They're gonna beat the Niners.
I promise you, bro. I'm telling you, just because the way I watched the Texans handle the Jaguars like they did, they didn't just beat the Jaguars. They handled them.
I know. And
that's what had me oh. And it was the defense that was really making them pay for it. And that's what really that's what makes me confident to say that.
Talking about flexing games, that next Jaguars Texans game might need to get flexed to a prime time game.
At least 4 o'clock.
All right, Devontae, next we're gonna touch upon your game real quick. Packers, Steelers.
We better win this game.
I'm going with the Steelers. I'm not sold on the Packers right now.
We better win this game. I swear, if we lose this game, you're gonna see a Devontae rant. I'm going to lose my mind because these are the games. These are the games that'll screw around and make you have to get into some 3-way tie at the end of the year for a playoff spot. And now you got to win all these stupid scenarios. You got to wait for all these stupid scenarios to happen to see if you get in the playoffs. So I'm not trying to do all that this year for the 3rd year in a row. So for that being said, the Steelers better win this game.
49ers, Jaguars. Brady said, I think the Niners come back angry after those 3 straight L's. If not, sheesh. Well, I'm going with sheesh. Look, Devontae, Jacksonville's now playing, obviously they're coming off a bye, both teams, but Jacksonville's now playing the type of football I thought they would. That's why I was so disgusted. I went on that rant when they lost to the Chiefs where they didn't score a touchdown. Look, man, I'm not about to sit up here and act like I didn't pick the Niners to go to the Super Bowl. I did. I'm not even backing off yet. What I'm saying is right now, there's also a reason why I picked them to lose in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Their defense is not as good as everyone is saying they are. And that includes me to start the year. That defensive coordinator they got right now, something is not right. And look, I can see the Jaguars get in the lead and not relinquishing the lead, just like the Bengals did. That's how I feel. No disrespect to the Niners, but who you got?
I got the Niners in this game, but in a very close game though.
Okay,
by 7, by a touchdown.
Brady said also, probably haven't talked about him already, but big time, Josh Dobbs, bro. Was he even there for a week?
No, he got there on Halloween. He got there on Halloween, which is our last show. Signed with them on that, or he got traded there on our last show, and then showed up and then won, and then showed up and then balled out and won. Shout out to former Pittsburgh Steelers Josh Dobbs, real guy, big super to the astronaut. honestly, I wish there was another reward that you really can't give him comeback player of the year because he wasn't coming back from nothing. So but like honestly, like he need his own award at the NFL this year for the work he's doing. I think the Saints are going to be a little bit too much for him. Yeah. But like his story is incredible because right now, if you really think about it, he's kind of like the Jeremy Lin of the NFL right now.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, Saints Vikings. Look, man, I think right now the two teams that are starting to play like I thought they would are the Jaguars and the Saints, right? Mm-hmm. I think the Jaguars are playing very well, and I think the Saints, their defense is real, and Carr's starting to get it together. I think they'll beat the Vikings. Not blowout or nothing, but I think right now, like you said, I think the defense of the Saints is too much. Carr's going to probably throw up 24 points, whereas in years past with the Raiders, that wasn't enough. With the Saints, it seems to be. You know what I mean? So I think they'll beat them. Let's get to these next slate. All right. Texans Bengals. Here we go. CJ Stroud against his red hot Bengals team. I love Stroud, Devontae. I want to go upset
I'm going
alert.
Cincy.
I want to go upset alert so bad, but I feel like this is last year or the year before Bengals lose, right? But I think this year the Bengals is not playing games. I think they've dropped those first few games, and now they know what time it is, you know? So
yeah, I think I'm going Bengals too. The Bengals can't afford to lose.
All right. Lions, Chargers.
Lions. I'm not picking the Chargers. I'm not picking I am not. That performance they had on Monday night, do not let that obscure you in any way. They played the Jets. The Jets are absolute trash. The Jets don't have Aaron Rodgers. They fumbled a lot. That Chargers defense does not perform like that. They're the most overrated group in the business. One of maybe the most overrated group of players I've ever seen on one defense. I'm picking the Lions for sure in a close game because, you know, we all know one thing about the Chargers. They do not, even when Phillip Rivers is there, they do not win close games.
Cowboys of the AFC.
Bingo.
Cowboys of the AFC. I'm going Lions as well. Close game. Look, Herbert's a monster. They got good talent all across the team, but something's wrong. And I think it's something a little bit more than just coaching. So I'm going with the Lions. Brady said the sad truth is, I think to me the Saints would be better with Hill than Carr. I'm gonna say no only because they tried that last year. I think they still do need a look. Problem with the Saints right now, I think they're offensive line away, and I'm not even saying they got to change players. I know they got some guys hurt. If their offensive line could just give time to throw, because his thing is he'll drop back and just run because he don't have time to throw. Obviously, he's more athletic than Carr, so obviously he could actually take off and run and do something. But if their offensive line can get good, because when Carr has time to throw, they throw up points. So I think Carr right now is still the answer. They just got to work on that offensive line. But their defense is going to carry them through a lot of these games. All right, Devontae, we're going to skip over down to let's go Commanders, Seahawks. Commanders came back and beat New England. Seahawks, they need this game. They just dropped. Do you see the Seahawks bouncing back?
Yeah, I'd say the Seahawks bouncing back. Would I be like utterly surprised if the Commanders pulled this off? No. But I think to make the Commanders need a real head coaching change. I think Ron Rivera, respectfully, is just too old. I just think he's too old. His views of the game and how he sees the game is truly outdated.
You think it goes to Eric?
It should go to Eric, but like we never know. I heard some good garbage rumor today. They might try and trade for Bill Belichick. I'm like, yo, bro, I just don't. The Commanders, I saw a rumor about that. I was like, that might be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. So, but like, I was like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life personally. You asking me, I'm like, that's just stupid. But okay, that's the league for you. But definitely, I'm going with the Seahawks.
Yeah, same. I think they bounced back. They got demolished. You know what I mean? I think they bounced back. And last but not least, man, we're going Jets Raiders, Devontae. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Raiders fan, just because both teams they're down to their backups now. Right? Jets obviously has expectations. They're talking about Rodgers could be back. I think it'd be the stupidest thing in the world for him to play coming off that injury at that age. But they're trying to tread water. They just looked horrible last night against the Chargers. Raiders are coming in playing with house money probably for the rest of the year. Raiders are at home. I'm actually, for the first time this year, Devontae, I'm actually picking the Raiders to win this game. And it's not because Josh McDaniels, I'm all hype. I think right now, the Raiders can get to 21 points, which I do think they probably can on that Jets defense. I think they can get pressure on Zach Wilson, cause a few errors. I actually think the Raiders will win and go to 5-5.
I think the Raiders will win this game too. But I think it's going to be an incredible, very much defensive game. It's going to come out like a field goal. So I got the Raiders. I got the Raiders winning this game in a very low scoring game, like 17-14.
Okay. All right. So yeah, man. So that's all we got for this week's show. Appreciate the love and support as always. We'll be back next week to recap week 10. Looking forward to week 11. It's flying, Devontae. Now, like it's flying.
Yeah.
Playoff time is almost here. We are in the month of November where it gets serious. But as always, appreciate the love and support. Devontae, let them know where they can find you.
At Devontae Forever on YouTube. Thank you, Jay, for having me.
No doubt. And as always, we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.